Hey guys, so about a week ago, Diane started making a lot of content, very good content, comprehensive content, showing a lot of things and very unafraid, going straight into even his slander of her and stuff like that. And Gatis can't stand to see that. She had an influx of what we see periodically when she tries to make content. The second she posts something, a bunch of bots come out of the woodwork and or sock puppet accounts, and they have names like Kaniki, Nikki, Nuki, Nikki, and Maxishli, Makupi, Doopy, and things like that, and they say the same kind of shit of you don't have any proof, I think you're a this and a that kind of stuff. And then when you counter them on the proof, when her network of support says stuff back, they counter it with, well, I don't really know anything about it, I'm just trying to figure it out, or why do you care, that kind of stuff. So it's just sick games from sick trash. And this is more important than your typical internet feuds, because we are trying to capture a CSAM promoting and a telling us he's indulging in the act wanted fugitive and his wanted fugitive girlfriend. So it's a little different than just some internet beef. It's important work, and they're there, or he's there, or whoever's there to stop it. But she uploaded a video the other day showcasing something that goes along with, I believe that one of these sock puppets directly threatened her son and was suggesting something to me like he always suggests to her about the sun. And that's why I think that's who that person is. I think it's Gatis. But once again, this is speculative, and I have a right to speculate. So we're going to look at that. First of all, I'll share my screen and show you what I posted. So my goal was to put a cork in the liars, and I did do it, because I said, hey, instead of coming at the acid attack victim with your little snarky comments, come do a debate. And did any of them take me up on my debate offer? No. One of them, who said he didn't know anything about anything, said that he would debate me only showing an eyeball. And we're not doing that on my channel. That's never been the offer. Last year, I made the same offer to people that had shown their face, by the way. I said, come do a debate with me face to face. You don't have to say your name, and we'll take turns and we can discuss this evidence. And one person who was Spaniard looking made a video directed at me, and I answered everything in that video and refuted it all and offered to have him come on the channel and do a debate. And then another person, not the guy himself, said, what about you maybe trying to dox him? So they have no excuses. They come up with things that don't even make sense. He's already shown himself. So how would I be doxing him if he doesn't have to show his name? It's ridiculous. So at any rate, none of these people or person, or however many there actually are, ever want to engage in a debate on this evidence. So it's ridiculous. And this right here was my offer for the anonymous accounts to come debate live. And as you can see, no takers, but one fake taker who, first of all, said he didn't know anything about anything, but would, I guess, debate. And then he wouldn't show himself. And that was his excuse, because no, you're not going to come on my channel in a mask. That could lead to very bad things. Other people have had experiences with people doing that. You could also be a minor, and that would also be a trap. So no, I want an adult face-to-face debate. And you can remain anonymous, of course, because nobody cares who you are. In fact, you won't want people to know who you are if this is your stance. And in between the 89 comments here, I was getting them at the same time on my videos. So let me show you, and that's my bird clock, what was going on in this video over here. And then I'll show you what I thought about it later. It's real creepy when you realize later what someone means when they do something. And one of the sock puppets is this puppet boy calling himself Mr. Winkle, which is pretty fucking creepy by itself. But at any rate, nice fan you have there, a guy called Mr. Winkle. And I don't believe it's a fan. I believe it's the dude himself, but it wouldn't matter. The trolls and bots were going to my videos. I had one on this 999 one that looked like the guy from American Psycho or whatever, American Horror Story. And I had another one on a really old one, the one where Vegan Gains calls him out on being a PDF. And just all over my videos, you'll start getting inundated with these stupid comments from these fake accounts that you've never seen before all of a sudden. But on this video, I believe it was, I got a comment, and later I realized what I think he's saying, because he told me I didn't understand, and I think I didn't, but I do now. So let's take a look. Let's just shine a spotlight on this shit so we can clean it up. Mr. Winkle Now, this is in response to the text message screenshot that I showed of where he asks Diane if she wants him dead, meaning their son. So that's a threat that if she does stuff he doesn't want her to do, like have a Patreon or exist, he'll end that child. So Mr. Winkle here says, is he saying, why do you want him dead, implying that you're doing something that will make him try to kill his son? Does he like teen girls or children? So I answer both questions because he does say that he likes babies in the 2023 live stream and in other places as well, defending Ian Watkins and whatnot. Kind of tells you something and saying that you're riding your new 1 to 2 year old bike. But anyway, now I'm thinking that he's just saying you, meaning conflating me and Diane, because they do that deliberately. They pretend they think I'm Diane, even though I show myself on camera a lot of the time. So I just ignored that and I said, you can't make someone unalive their son. That's crazy. If anybody was doing something inappropriate to him, basically it would be Gatis. And the coward also could have always petitioned the courts and forced paternity testing, but instead he bought hair tats and acid. Now he says, you misunderstood my question, but okay. Now, see, this sounds a lot like the way Gatis talks when he talks to Diane. But where does he say he likes babies? And then I tell him where he says. But anyway, I do think I misunderstood his question, but I did wonder initially even, but I think he's intimating, believing to be doing so cleverly, that I, quote unquote, would want him dead by doing something that will make Goat Boy try to kill his son, to try to put the idea in my mind that if I continue trying to do something about him, he'll do something to the little boy. First of all, we know that he would do something to that little boy, whether I exist or not, because he did. And that's the whole reason that they're in hiding. It has nothing to do with me. The heat is on him to be caught, so he can't do something to the little boy. So I'm sure that he's mad, but you know, that doesn't really change anything. If I didn't exist, didn't continue, or did exist and did continue, either way, he would be a danger to that little boy as long as he's free. So we don't want you to be free since you can't behave appropriately. But I could be wrong that this is just some sicko, but I don't think so. And I wanted to share that and then share something else with you that kind of, you know, puts it in perspective as making sense why I think that. So here's Diane's recent video where she shared having a feeling about this person, maybe being in the throes of plotting something and deciding to check up on it. And she was right. It was right before the arson attempts. But at any rate, right here, she's showing an email she got from a sock puppet type account, most likely, for Levay. And I don't think it was one of his fans helping him out. I think it was him, and so does she. I heard from somebody the shit that you've been saying about him behind his back. Some very private videos of you will start appearing online, except if you apologize. And I hear anything like that again, then ... Now you're supposed to make that connection between the if she talks about him anymore and Levay. So this is what the guy does. And once again, for legal purposes, I'll say this is speculative, but I do believe this is Gatis Lagston's doing this, and I believe it's Gatis Lagston's in my comment section doing that. So that's what he does with his time, and it's 2026, and he was doing it in the Wayback Machine. So the guy needs to be caught and stopped. He's a danger to children. He tells us he's doing things to children, and the fact that we have to fight tooth and nail to stop this is insane. And that we live in a world where we live in a surveillance culture, and yet they're, letting people do stuff like this at the same time. Like, get your priorities straight on who you need to monitor. We're building all these like data information centers to, do all of this digital footprint type stuff towards people, and yet we don't apply that same behavior towards crime. That's where it should be applied. It's just so sick and gross. Anyways, we're going to keep fighting, and note that it's been January 6th all the way to now March 8th, and we still have the judge deliberating, which means there's some thought going into what she's drafting. That doesn't mean that it's going to go my way. In fact, it could mean that she thinks she needs to go my way, but she doesn't want to, and she's trying to find a way not to. It could mean all kinds of things, but it does mean it's not a quick, flippant decision, and that she's being thoughtful in her response. So, because at this point, it is long. It's not just a court being busy. So we'll see what's said soon, I hope, and I hope it's good news. And then I hope I'll have the problem of having to figure out how to proceed and truly for Levay in a good sense, and for the other little girl who might be called Antonina, and for Diane, and for myself, because I've put myself at risk here, and for other people as well who have been threatened. Sarah Norman, Jake, Goatis, Ghost of James Uganda, Jail Cell, Acid for My Valentine, Cloak and the Dagger, all the activists, and the Rotten Mango, Stephanie Sue, Crimes Anatomy, all the people that have taken it upon themselves to go ahead and tell this story, even though they get gone after in some capacity by these people. We're not going to stop. Have a good one. Bye-bye.